Hi, dear friends and subscribers of Cricket Happenings. Welcome to the Cricket Show, your daily cricket show, the Cricket Happening Show, with your host Ram. Well, dear fans and subscribers, yesterday I definitely uploaded the cricket broadcast, in the sense the cricket show, and I had actually sent a message to everybody on Twitter, to all the dear friends subscribers who are on Twitter, that I was unable to actually bring the cricket show because even though I uploaded the cricket show, the upload was aborted, unfortunately. One does not know what is the reason, but circumstances beyond my control, I couldn't come. But actually I had given a report on the super over. That was the first super over which was played in the Indian Premier League 2014 in the United Arab Emirates, and I also talked about the match. And yesterday I had also given a cricket update on the last match that the Mumbai Indians, that was the last match yesterday in the leg of the first leg of the Indian Premier League 2014, where Mumbai Indians, the reigning champions, having a very dismal United Arab Emirates tour here, finishing out without a single win. And yesterday they lost the match, even though Pollard was at the crease. Irfan Pathan took that very vital wicket to derail the hopes of the Mumbai Indians. And Mumbai Indians, I would say the train was completely derailed, as they finished with no win after playing 5 matches in the Indian Premier League 2014 in the United Arab Emirates. They finished with not a single win, which was pretty unfortunate, but that was the scene. And the match was won by Sunrisers Hyderabad. Sunrisers Hyderabad actually winning that match against Mumbai by 15 runs in the final over. So that is something. So I'll briefly touch on that today. Yesterday, so that's the reason. So unfortunately that didn't go through. So today what I'm going to do is, yes, we are going to definitely have a look at that final match of the first leg of the Indian Premier League 2014, which ended in the United Arab Emirates yesterday. And now all the players would have come back to India to as you know, the elections are over in India now, and all the teams would have assembled in India, because tomorrow is the second leg of the Indian Premier League 2014, which is starting, and it is going to be kicked off between Chennai Super Kings and the Kolkata Knight Riders. And so what I'm going to do in this cricket show is definitely we are going to look at that match on the 20th match, the Mumbai T20, Mumbai versus Sunrisers Hyderabad. Just I'll have a brief talk on the super over, the first super over that was enacted in the Indian Premier League 2014. And also I have some cricket news for you, dear fans and subscribers. So first, let me go on to the super over. Now, as I said, this was the first super over which was enacted day before yesterday in the Indian Premier League 2014, and this match was enacted between the Rajasthan Royals and Kolkata Knight Riders. The match going down to the wire. Both the teams tied on the same score, and then finally, and the reason that they were tied was because of James Faulkner, who was the man of the match, coming in and picking up 3 wickets in one single over to really get the match onto a tie. Even though Surya Kumar Yadav, who has been very impressive according to me, and he looks to be very promising as far as a pinch hitter is concerned, and he did a fine job in the Indian Premier League 2014, but unfortunately to no avail. And even though the teams were locked at the same score, it went into the first super over. Can you believe it? Even in the super over, both the teams had a very tight finish, with both of the teams once again ending in a tie. But as is the rule in a super over, whichever team has hit if at all scores are level, it boils down to whichever team has hit the maximum number of boundaries in that particular over. And that was the reason why Rajasthan Royals won, because they were the ones with the maximum number of fours. And what a match we had. So the first super over of the Indian Premier League 2014. Well, as far as yesterday's match was concerned, just talking about it briefly, Mumbai were hunting for their first ever win, and I'm sure they're going to be forgetting the United Arab Emirates because they didn't have a single win. And considering that they were the reigning champions, it was pretty sad to see that Mumbai Indians were languishing at the bottom of the table here in the Indian Premier League 2014. Not only that, they have not picked up a single point, which is absolutely something which was I thought that Mumbai Indians were weak, definitely because of the changes taking place, but one never thought that Mumbai will come back from the first leg of the United Arab Emirates without a single point to its credit. Well, I can only say it's a shame, unfortunately. Well, let's have a look at the card here. Now, Sunrisers Hyderabad were the ones who batted first. They made 172. I think I spoke about it, but you were not there. But just talking about the important aspects of that, even though they lost their openers pretty early, KL Rahul contributed 46 or 40 balls with 3 fours. David Warner was very aggressive, even though if you see, he hit only one boundary, but hit 4 sixes, and he clattered the bowler Pragyan Ojha all over the park. And Pragyan Ojha's figures took a real beating, bowling 3 overs, no maiden, none for 43. Rahul contributing 46, David Warner contributing 65, 51 balls with 1 4 and 4 sixes, and that was what they finished with. But as I said, Pragyan Ojha was taken to the cleaners. And as far as the Mumbai Indians were concerned, for Mumbai Indians, well, they really struggled. They lost. They had an induction of Ben Dunk today for the first time, and probably thought it would make some. I mean, that would bring in some changes because he was sent in as opener along with Rohit Sharma. But unfortunately, that was not the case. They lost 3 wickets pretty early in that chase for 31 runs in the 6th over. Raidu contributing 35, but one person, as I said yesterday, that Kieron Pollard was the key there. If at all Mumbai had to get their first win in the Indian Premier League, but Kieron Pollard did his best. He slammed 78 of just 48 deliveries with 3 fours and 6 sixes, and he paid special attention to the leggy Amit Mishra, who did very well in the T20 World Cup, as you know, but he really, I would say, massacred Amit Mishra's bowling to have Mishra ending up with bowling figures of 4 overs, none for 54 was pretty costly. And Kieron Pollard. So now just talking to you about the last over that was played, as I said, Kieron Pollard was keeping the hopes alive, even though Kieron Pollard couldn't get much support. First he got it from Raidu. Other than Raidu, none of the other players could give him support, whether it was Aditya Tare, Harbhajan Singh, Gautam. I mean, nobody could really give him solid support, and that's what Kieron Pollard did. Added up the pressure on Kieron Pollard. And finally, there were 20 runs to win for the Mumbai Indians in the final over, and Irfan Pathan was playing his first game for the Sunrisers Hyderabad, and what a wicket he took. In fact, 20 runs were needed, and with Kieron Pollard at the crease, that was absolutely possible. One would have expected Mumbai Indians to win with Kieron Pollard, but unfortunately, Irfan Pathan bowled a beautiful delivery which got stuck into Kieron Pollard's, stuck underneath Kieron Pollard's bat, and went on to the stumps. And what a wicket that was. In fact, Kieron Pollard was absolutely pumped up, and why not? He had taken the big wicket of Kieron Pollard, who could have been definitely won the match for the Mumbai Indians. With Kieron Pollard gone, bowled by Pathan for 78 or 48 balls with 3 fours and 6 sixes, it was all over for Mumbai. But if Kieron Pollard would have been there, probably Mumbai would have got their first point. But Irfan Pathan took up that vital wicket, and what a wicket that was for Sunrisers Hyderabad. And then, as I said, after that 20 runs were required, the first ball, Pollard was gone. After that, there was nothing that the Mumbai Indian tailenders could do, and Irfan Pathan bowled a very nice over. In fact, he was only bowling his second over, and he gave away 20 runs, so he gave only 5 runs and picked up the wicket of Kieron Pollard to derail the Mumbai Indians innings. Not only that, derailed the Mumbai Indians' hopes of even collecting a single point in the Indian Premier League 2014, with Mumbai Indians finishing on 157 for 7 of their 20 overs and awarding the match to Sunrisers Hyderabad, who won the match by a margin of 15 runs. Looking at the bowling, Dale Steyn bowled excellently, 2 for 20 for him. B. Kumar, who was the man of the match for his splendid bowling, 2 for 17. He produced one beautiful delivery. In fact, he picked up the wicket of Rohit Sharma with a beautiful delivery which shaped in. Kan Sharma bowled 4 overs 33. Darren Sammy 2 overs 1 for 20. But Amit Mishra was absolutely clattered. He was massacred, I would say, by Kieron Pollard, and he leaked 54 runs of his 4. Irfan Pathan bowling that last over, taking that most important wicket of Kieron Pollard, finishing up with figures of 2 wickets for 10 runs, and Bhuvaneshwar Kumar was named man of the match. So just looking at the Indian Premier League that happened, the first leg of the Indian Premier League 2014 in United Arab Emirates, what I would like to say, just talking about the most important thing is the red hot favourites team according to me in the Indian Premier League right now, and if they continue the same form that they do coming back to India, well, it could be Kings 11 Punjab. So Kings 11 Punjab had a whale of a time as far as the Indian Premier League 2014 is concerned in the first leg of the United Arab Emirates, and the main factor being Glenn Maxwell and David Miller. Glenn Maxwell in particular, because he went almost to score a century. In fact, he couldn't score a century, but almost came on the verge of scoring 3 centuries, but he missed it. But well, he did it for his team, and Glenn Maxwell, according to me, has been the most dangerous player of the tournament, and I'm sure the crowds would flock in India today, flock the stadiums in India when the second leg starts tomorrow, when it kicks off between Chennai Super Kings and Kolkata Knight Riders, to watch this pocket dynamo in action, and the $1 million baby, as we call him. Well, and so that is one thing, and one catch that will come to mind as far as the first leg of the Indian Premier League 2014 is concerned is that catch that really changed matters and got that win, and that catch was taken by Chris Lynn. What a catch that was! That was one of, I would say, that was the catch of the Indian Premier League 2014, and that is what really comes to mind. But I think Kings 11 Punjab did well. In the extreme, if you look at the other side of it, Mumbai Indians, the reigning champions, as I said, they had a dismal United Arab Emirates tour. Though this were the highs and lows as far as the Indian Premier League 2014 was concerned. Now let's have a look at the cricket news which is making now. The first cricket news that I'm going to talk about is the ICC. Australia have gone to top. Australia have gone to top the table as far as the ICC Test Championship points are concerned. In fact, Australia are the first ranked team, not only in the Test, they are also in the one-day internationals. They have got the #1 spot, so congratulations to Australia. They truly deserve it. They worked hard for it. They went through a lot of trials and tribulations, but I thought they have come up trumps now, and that's a great statement that they are making. Let's have South Africa. And South Africa are second as far as the Test Championships are concerned, and followed by England, Pakistan. India have slipped. India were in third position in the Test matches, but because of the losses, they have gone to #5 now, which is not good news. New Zealand have gone to 6th. Sri Lanka are still at the bottom as far as the Test Championship is concerned. Then West Indies, Zimbabwe and Bangladesh have remained where they are in the Test rankings. As far as the ICC ODI figures are concerned, Australia, as I said, on the top. India is second, followed by Sri Lanka, England, South Africa, Pakistan, New Zealand, West Indies, Bangladesh, Zimbabwe, Ireland and Afghanistan. And as far as ICC T20 is concerned, well, India is on the top. So that is some solace for India. India is on the top as far as the ICC 2020 is concerned. They are followed by Sri Lanka, Pakistan, South Africa. Australia come 5th in the T20, and that is also their goal now, to be on the top on all the 3 formats. But Australia, I'm sure they are going to work hard, and as I said, they have some very talented batsmen now coming to the fore in the form of Aaron Finch, Glenn Maxwell, I would say. New Zealand, West Indies, England, Ireland, Bangladesh, Netherlands, Afghanistan, Zimbabwe and Scotland. That's how the order goes. Well, dear fans and subscribers, that is as far as the ICC cricket news is concerned. Now let's have a look at some other ICC cricket news that's coming up. Now this is talking about the ICC elite panel of ICC umpires. One would understand that Billy Bowden of New Zealand was removed from the panel, from the elite panel, and and Tony Hill was the umpire. Now Tony Hill has become the New Zealand cricket umpire coach, so that's the reason Billy Bowden finds his place. Let's have a look at the elite panel of the ICC umpires. It's Ali Imdar of Pakistan, Billy Bowden of New Zealand, Kumar Dharmasena of Sri Lanka, Steve Davis of Australia, Miraj Erasmus of South Africa, Ian Gould of England, Richard Illingworth from England, Richard Kettlebrough from England, Neil Long from England, Bruce Oxenford, I think from Australia if I'm not wrong, Paul Rifle from Australia, Rod Tucker from Australia. But what one would see here dear fans and subscribers, is that there is not a single Indian umpire in the panel, which is very sad. There is no Indian umpire. We have Australia, but one does not see any West Indian umpire in that. And we have the Sri Lankan Kumar Dharmasena is there, but we don't see any other country umpires there. Australia definitely dominating. Australia and England definitely dominating. South Africa are there. Pakistan also figured in that. But well, dear fans and subscribers, a bit of cricket news. One coming in from England, Graham Gooch is no longer going to be the batting coach of England. So that is one news which is coming in from England. And the other news is that coming from Sri Lanka is that Kumar Sangakkara, who recently retired from T20s after the T20 World Cup, after his Sri Lankan team won, has decided that probably after this the World Cup 2015 in Australia and New Zealand, it might be curtains as far as one-day internationals are concerned for Kumar Sangakkara, such a great batsman from Sri Lanka. And probably Sangakkara has also hinted probably one more test series, and that might be his swan song probably. So that's some news which is coming in. Dear fans and subscribers, hope you all enjoyed my cricket show as ever. Thanks for your company and thanks for regularly watching Cricket Happenings. Tomorrow I'll be back with you, dear fans and subscribers, but probably with the cricket update on the second leg of the Indian Premier League 2014, which is starting up tomorrow, and that is going to be kicking off in India when Chennai Super Kings take on the Kolkata Knight Riders, which is the first match that is coming up in the second leg of the Indian Premier League 2014, and this is going to be played in the homeland of the Chennai Super Kings captain Mahendra Singh Dhoni, Ranchi. That's it from me, your host Ram, for the cricket show for today. See you all tomorrow on my next cricket update from the Indian Premier League 2014 from Ranchi. Till then, this is your host Ram saying goodbye. Thank you.